I thought we were sponsored by Pepsi.
We're sponsored by this now. Just blank bottles of water.
Box
Ladies and
water.
gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Bobcats Coaches Show here live from Crossroads Social House in Wytheville. Great crowd tonight. We had some snowy weather this morning, but thanks everybody for coming out and showing your support tonight. Zemi, before we get into over the weekend, 4 points picked up at Indiana, let's address the roster move that was made yesterday.
Well, we were aware of the challenges that come with bringing Kyle in at the start of the season, and we're hoping that we can be the destination or organization where he would play a full season. That unfortunately didn't happen, but we're thankful to Kyle for everything he brought in this organization, what he's done, and wish him nothing but the best of the luck in Topeka.
Yeah, I think I speak for everybody on that one. We wish him the best, but there's the move was made. It is what it is, and for you guys, there's a bigger picture at hand, and it starts tomorrow night.
Yeah, back at Carolina, and those are very exciting games. It seems like forever since the last time we've played them. We played them 3 times this season so far, and we've done well, but they're a different team now. They really turn it around. They're way better than what we've seen before, and it's gonna be definitely competitive game.
Our player guest tonight is Mr. Anthony Shrum. Welcome to the Coaches Show, Shrummer. How are you?
Doing great. Glad to finally be invited.
Yes. Well, to be fair, we tried to invite you before, but things have
The invite must have been lost.
Yeah, it got lost in the mail. I don't know. Anyways, you probably saved it like all the pucks. You stuffed it away there. Anyways, like we said, Jimmy, 4 points over the weekend. A tough loss Friday in the shootout. And Trummer, before we kind of dig into the weekend, I want to, because this was the first shootout I think we've had in, did we have one at all last year? I don't think we did.
Can't recall right now.
Yeah, I think we've only had a couple of shootouts in the 3 years of this franchise, so it's still something that a lot of our fans aren't necessarily used to. So I wanted to pick on you for a second, and from the goaltender's perspective, going into a shootout, of course you're kind of thinking about who you're facing individually and what you might have seen from him during a game, but what's your mentality like going into a shootout, and what did you see from Vero and his thought process going into it?
Well, shootouts are always probably one of the most fun parts of the game, because it's a one-on-one battle with the shooter. Everything else is team oriented, and at that point it's just you versus the shooter, and righties and lefties always have tendencies on what they do. So I know for me personally, when I see a righty coming in or lefty coming in, there's normally 4 or 5 different moves they try to pull, and whatever side they come in from, you get to think about it, and you read off the shooter, you try to be patient, make them make the first move, and I thought it was a great shootout. I thought Kaz's move is always gets me and Vero in practice. It's and he pulled Chris Kerr way out of the net, and Chris just got lucky and got his leg. Probably should have been a goal. I don't know the rule on that, but I thought Vero looked great. Even the one they scored, I mean, we talked about it afterwards, and he said he read it all the way, and it was like it grazed his leg and stick. So, but shootouts are really fun. Just one-on-one, it's a fun time. Pressure's on the shooter just as much as the goalie. So, just try to outlast them and make the save somehow.
Yeah, and Zemi, that really is the goaltender's moment to shine just as much as it is to shooter. But it was again a tough result for you guys, but a game that coming off the travel, you get in there and like we said, going into the weekend or coming out of the weekend, the last time we faced them, that's not an easy team to play against. They're a very difficult team to play against, but at the end of the day, you guys found a way to battle through at the end and come out with a point.
Yeah, all credit to Everett Thompson, the coach of Sentinels. He's done a phenomenal job turning the team around, and I told the guys it reminds me a little bit like us the first season, where we changed some bodies around and became very competitive, and that's what they're like. Not saying that they're playing loose, but they trying to get anything out of everything, right? They're hard to play against. They have some young guys on the team who have a lot of potential. Just needed that ice time, and definitely a competitive team. I think they're gonna be getting better and better as the season goes. And yeah, the first game we had a little slow start, and going the second period with some penalties. It was a close game. Then obviously, great end of the third period. I thought our third period looked good. Like we would like to play the whole 60 minutes, and in overtime, I think we did very well too. We controlled most of the overtime, had some scoring opportunities, and again, all credit goes to Chris Kerr, who had one hell of a game against us. And then when it comes to shootouts, it's a skill competition. Like Sharma said, it's. I guess to me as a coach, it's when you look at it, we do it in the practice a lot, once a week playing a juice boy, but in those moments that a lot of things goes in it, like confidence of the player, see how the player was, if he's going or not, and I think that goal will, or not a goal, the attempt what Kozi had should have him called as a good goal, but again, it's something you can't change. It wasn't called as a good goal. We lost a couple points there, but definitely learned from it going in the night after. And again, having Philip Lavak playing for us on Saturday, and having Mike making the drive since the ECHL games wasn't on, definitely help. And it was one of those games where I felt like we got back on the track again and got back to what we want to play. There's still a lot to improve, and discipline is definitely one of them. But I think our PK has gotten better from how much time we spend in the box, and obviously power play, scoring goal on there, and just finding a ways. At the end of the day, that weekend wasn't about necessarily just playing the Sentinels. It was us against us, and getting back on the right track.
Yeah, and I think you put it perfectly. I think that Friday game was, and I know we talked about it before the game Saturday, that the game Friday was very much the get back on track kind of game. Of course, it wasn't the result we wanted, but the style and the level of play was close to getting back to the point where you knew this team was capable of. And Saturday night was just as difficult, but having gotten back on track the night before, you were able to push through and pick up the win in regulation Saturday night.
Yeah, like I said, I think the third period on the Friday night was the way we want to play, and we carried that on to Saturday, where we played more of a complete game, and that resulted in getting that W.
And as we said, 4 out of 6 points over the weekend. But Shrummer, for you, what was the mood like on the bench throughout the weekend? It was really a topsy-turvy weekend, a lot of back-and-forth action. Saturday there was an incident in front of the bench, but there was a lot of activity, a lot of energy, it seemed like, from you guys throughout the weekend that I think really helped get you guys back on track.
Yeah, one thing we've been trying to stress as a team is to have a positive energy and a positive mindset. And as in any losing streak for any team, things start to get negative. Everything looks bleak. Like there's no end in sight. And, getting that point on Friday definitely helped spark the momentum, plus the Christmas break. And, Friday and Saturday was some of the best energy I've seen on the bench. Everybody was cheering each other on, positive. And even that incident, it was just sticking up for a teammate. Their guy came out of nowhere at Kleno, and then Dennis did what he does and wails on guys and protected him. So it's, guys sticking up for each other. Danny had a big fight after the hit on Merck. Gallagher stuck up for Danny after that hit. We're meshing a lot better together after break, and things are looking up, and it's a lot of positivity that's helping.
Yeah, Jim, I'm glad he brought those couple of instances up, because again, something that you've touched on since day one is team toughness, and I think for one of the first times over the weekend, there was zero hesitation from you guys to identify the person that was guilty and go get him.
Yeah, with Danny in that situation where Gali stepped up, when your captain gets it like this, there's got to be a response to it. We talk a lot now about how that should be done, so it doesn't hurt us as a team, but that answer needs to be there either way. Same goes with them coming after Klino. Things could have been done a little differently and a little bit more clean. So it didn't resolve in what it resolved, but yes, it is a necessary part to stick up for your teammates, and everybody's got to do it for everybody. We're one team, we're one family, and those guys, like Shrum said, this past weekend was one of the best, energy and positivity from all the guys, all together. And no matter we were down or we were up, they were supporting each other, sticking up for each other, and finding ways to each other.
Yeah, as we said, with his back and forth as it was, that was one of the big things. A step forward, I think, to see was just how, it wasn't even keel necessarily. There was still a lot of energy for you guys on the bench, but there was never too high, never too low. It was that same kind of steady level of focused, ferocious energy all weekend long.
Yeah, and we especially found a way to win. I mean, that's something that's been missing is, no matter what happens, no matter what's in our way, like we haven't been able to find that way to win. And Indiana, like you guys have said, is a great team. I mean, they're on the up and up, winning a lot of games lately, and you found a way to win against a solid team on a roll. So,
and your goaltending counterpart was a massive part of that win on Saturday. That save he made, I believe, in the last minute when Indiana went 6-on-5 was just nuts, and that's that's the Vero that we're used to seeing.
Absolutely, and I have to say that the save in the second period too, they actually called it as a goal at first, and then Danny was going down the ice on the 2-on-1. To be honest, all of us, even on the bench, or most of us, thought that was a good goal until we see Danny skating with the puck the other way. He made a lot of big saves for us, and definitely again that's the Vero we know, and that's what we know he's capable of. And we all when we're in the slump, we're all trying to get back on the track. And that game definitely, he said it himself, felt good and put him where he wants to be and where we want him to be.
Yeah, Shrum, from the goaltending perspective, I think you could tell that even though it was technically a loss on Friday, you could tell that the performance that Hunter was able to put up kept you guys in the game and gave him a lot of confidence to make the huge saves that he made Saturday to pick up the win.
100%. I mean, the biggest thing about goaltending is whether you win or lose, whether they score 10 goals or 1 goal, it's not necessarily how you play. Sometimes the puck just bounces in a different direction, and especially Friday, they easily could have had 10 goals. I mean, there was multiple times where my jaw dropped, and he comes back to the bench at media timeout, and like, I can't believe he saved that, and he's just laughing. And he's like, me either, and it's just we talk about things, and he's been feeling really good, and it showed on this entire weekend. Just oh my God, save after one another, and it showed in getting the 1 point Friday and then the 3 Saturday. So
yeah, the OMG save. I'm glad you brought up the OMG save there in the second period. I was standing right there, and I thought it was in, and then I guess. Because in case no one has known, the broadcast position for me in Indiana is pretty much right on the goal line right there in that corner. And the most hilarious part of it was I'm looking down the ice at Danny skating. I'm calling it. Vero, for some reason, I guess, he thought it was in. So Vero just skates over to me and smirks. Just skates over the corner and goes, and winks at me. I'm like, oh, he got that. Okay, so that's what happened. But Shrummer, when Vero has that kind of that suave to him, he's a whole different animal, right?
Yeah, the biggest thing in goaltending is confidence, because skill got us here one way or another, and it's just about showing off that skill. And when you feel confident, you can do it. And he's feeling really good and seeing the puck. And as you can see, like when he's skating by, winking at you, he's feeling pretty good, and it showed. So it's great to see.
I had to bite my tongue and stifle a laugh on the air because there's no way he just did that to me, kind of deal. But as we said, all in all, a strong weekend for you guys to really get back on track. And there were a lot of guys that stood out throughout the weekend. I'll tell you what, I'm a little upset we don't go back to Indiana because Robin Erickson has some kind of thing for scoring in that barn. He gets things going Friday, less than a minute in. And again, coming off the break, coming off the travel, that gave you guys, I think, a ton of jump to score early. And it was really, and you touched on it Saturday before the game too, was the message of, look at how we scored this goal. All Robin did was throw it at the net and something good happened, because nothing bad can happen when you throw it at the net.
The whole first shift of the Friday night was impressing to me, just watching it from the bench. As everything we talk about, getting the zone, going low to high, having got bodies crashing the net, having the D shooting, not looking for anything more. It was shot from a Carson. It got back to the Carson, another shot. It bounced to the weak side wall, and then Robin, without hesitation, putting it back on the net as he's seeing Stux crashing the net. So, definitely, talking about simple hockey, that is simple hockey, and so we have, and that's how you score most of the goals in hockey. So, but with Robin, it's talking about confidence with the goaltenders. Same goes with the players when you're in the slump. It's hard. It's hard to find and build confidence, and you have to build on the little things, do those right, series of the little things to start feeling a little confidence and continue repeating it to get back on that level of the confidence where you used to. And Robin is definitely one of the guys who needed that, and he, once he got that goal, you could see that he was more loose starting playing, and then that's Robin we need.
Yeah, and same goes for everybody. I think that goal early on, like I said, it brought you guys a lot of energy, Shrummer, but, I think it loosened things up a little bit because, at a certain point, like we've said, on a losing streak, you can start to grip the sticks a little bit too tight, you start to think too much, and that seemed to really free and open the game up for you guys to go out there and succeed.
Yeah, it's especially as a goalie when we score that quick into a game, the relief it is unbelievable. It's the stress of holding the other team to 0 goals to try to get a tie for the longest time when it's 0-0, going through 1, going through 2. It's a lot. And when we score a minute into the game, you're like, okay, I can play a little looser now. It's I got a little bit of a lead here, and it's huge momentum for everybody, not just the players like the goalies and anybody who's there cheering on the Bobcats. Like, a minute into the game, it deflates their whole bench, their whole fan base. Like, they have a full prep, full warm-up, ready to go, and a minute in, they're down 1-0. It's like, what's going on, guys? Like, whole panic. It's happened to us before, and we feel that panic, and like, oh my God, we need to get back into things. But, having that lead is fantastic.
Yeah, it's a whole different animal because, and it was interesting throughout the course of the season series, the game Saturday was the only game of these 4 that Indiana had scored first, but it didn't seem like the energy was that much different.
Well, that was another thing we touched up on is scoring that first goal, right? Being ready from the half, being ready from the puck drop, and making that adjustment like Shrummer said, and scoring that first goal. That was a big relief. And the next thing was talking about, playing with the lead, getting the lead, and continue playing with the lead, and that's something we still have to work on. And that comes with playing the full 60-minute hockey game, right? I thought that first period when we got to 3-1 up 3-1 to the lead, we let go for a couple of minutes and allow them to get or build some kind of momentum. But again, it's a process. You take a step at a time, and I think we made the right steps.
Yeah, and that was that stretch in the second period was difficult. There was the 2 5-on-3 goals that happened throughout the course of the game, but like we said, you guys found a way to battle through there Friday and eventually get the win on Saturday. Because he's not going to be with us this weekend, I do want to give this gentleman a shout out because he stepped in and did a fantastic job just filling the spot and doing the role. Michael Redmond came in for us on Friday night. First game he played for this team in almost 2 full seasons, and was a +3 on the stat sheet on the night. Made a lot of great, smart, heady, high IQ plays. Nearly had 2 assists. Had a great pass to Danny on a one-timer that if it wasn't for Chris Kerr would have 100% gone in. Had 3 or 4 shots on goal himself that could have easily gone in. I mean, talk about what he brought to the table coming in day of, no practice with you guys, no video sessions, and he rolls right in and plays his tail off.
Mikey is just a great guy. He actually, reached out himself that he's missing the game a little bit and would like to play. We're in the situation where, we need some bodies, and he was willing to make that trip from Michigan to Indiana, with some traffic. He actually got there slightly late, but was able to pick up on everything real quick and understood his role. And, he didn't have a ton of ice time, but every time he stepped on the ice, he made something happen. No matter it was a big hit, it was the right decision with the puck, or just to, while he was on the bench, just to be cheering the guys up and keeping them positive was, very important part. And then, there's been a couple huge hits and couple 2-on-1s. He made a great play, and he's a guy who wants to play. He from the 2 years ago to now, he became a coach playing the senior league in Michigan, and he's playing and coaching. And once you start coaching, you're seeing the game from a little different perspective, and you could definitely tell, for not playing professional hockey for a couple of years and not being in that professional shape, you could tell that he's very smart and understand like the risk and reward plays and just how to keep it simple and not put the team in the danger, but at the same time help the team to create something, and no matter it's momentum scoring opportunities or that.
Yeah, and he didn't really seem to be out of position really the whole night, except for the one penalty he took, and one thing that you touched on that I think a lot of guys can take note of, regardless of whether they're on this team or at all at any level of hockey, is when you make a mistake is taking that accountability. And you said it, the first thing he did when he got back to the bench after that double minor was, "That's on me, I owe you one." And for you as a coach and you guys as players, that's huge.
Yeah, owning your mistakes, accountability, goes a long way. That's something, everybody battles with all the time. But, guy coming in who, again, hasn't been practicing or playing with us and doing that, I think opened, a lot of ice. And again, it's part of the leadership, and definitely happy to see that. There's something, like you said, we've talked about the following morning during the video, and we've seen it some more the following night on Saturday too, right? Like, you make a mistake, we all make a mistake, we all fail on a daily basis, and as long as we can own it and continue showing up and putting the work on, and that's what matters.
Yeah, Shrummer, as you said, that was something that you guys had touched on during the meeting on Saturday morning. But again, that had to be huge for someone to come in like that. Of course, he's a fellow Michigander, so I guess you had a slight bit of bias on him. But, it still had to be big for you guys and a bit of an eye-opener for him to come in and not only play the way he did, but, he makes that mistake and comes back to the bench, and the first thing he does is, "I owe you one, let's get it back."
Yeah, it's especially with him coming in late. We didn't get to have many interactions with him. Not many guys had the chance to talk with him, the guys that didn't know him. And when something like that happens, the best way to get to know someone is through their play and how they act on the ice and how they act on the bench and as a teammate first. And when you don't know anybody and you step up and say that, you go out, big hit in the third, really sparked things, and that was great play. I mean, he showed through the play that he's just a good overall person, just in the way he acted on the bench, interactions with guys. So it was great to have that for the game.
And for you as a Michigander, I'm sure it was great to have another Michigander on the bench with you.
It's always nice. I mean, Michigan is one of the best states, so it's good having a fellow Michigander. Yeah.
Do you want me to bring up the football-shaped elephant in the room, or? Well, I can't talk because the entire bus ride home, the second half of my team getting run over. So, anyways, Shrummer's a Lions fan. I'm a Packers fan. We've had this discussion on multiple different occasions. But It is what it is.
I don't know if there's an elephant in the room. The Lions had one good year and out of 60, and I got to enjoy it, and I got to throw it in your face a little bit. So
He did, and season sweep. He got to. And tables got turned this year, but anyways, back to hockey. As we do on the program, when it's a first-time player guest, we dive into your hockey background. So, Shrummer, tell us, first of all, what made you so undeniably insane that you wanted to step in front of 100-mile-an-hour flying pieces of rubber for a living?
Well, I didn't know that when I first started. When it's cross ice and everybody's 7 years old running around like school fish, it's hard to see that coming in the future. And I started out as a defenseman, and someone had to volunteer to play goalie, and I'd always be the one to go in net with player gear on. So eventually, my parents ended up getting me a set of gear, and in my hometown there was a minor league hockey team, the Muskegon Fury. Grew up season tickets. So much love for hockey from that. Got to go every game, and we knew the security guard down there as well, so got to go in the tunnel, meet the players. Kind of like here after games, and it sparked my love, and I've been able to play for 20 years now and end up here. It really all started because of the Muskegon Fury, pretty much just getting involved in that and seeing the game. And my dad was a huge Red Wings fan, so from day one watching them in the playoffs all the time. That's really what sparked it.
And as a Red Wings fan, for you and growing up as a goaltender, that you had a gold mine of guys to grow up watching.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I was old enough to see Dominic Hasek when he was there, more in his prime, and same with Manny Legacy, Mike Vernon, all great guys. I got to see Chris Osgood. I was able to go to Joe Louis Arena once. I played a game there, which was very cool, where the Red Wings played before they tore it down. It was an old stadium. Saw him practice, which is cool. But yeah, a lot of goalie history there. It's nice when there's not a lot of fluctuation in the goalie position. The same year every time there was the same goalie. Got to grow up and love them and be my favorite. There was Jimmy Howard was what I saw all growing up, and he was the guy. And lately it's been a little topsy-turvy, but it's on its way around. So
it is. The Iser plan is in effect.
Mm-hmm.
But for you coming in at the end of last year as a collegiate guy, one of my first interactions with you was when Kendra, who's right behind the camera there. Hi, Kendra. Everybody say hi, Kendra.
Hi, Kendra.
You knew you couldn't come to the coach's show and me not do that, right? Yeah, she knew that. But she was taking your headshot a couple days after you got here, and she said, "You don't have to smile." And your exact words were, and I quote, "I'm going to smile the whole day because I'm getting paid to play professional hockey." And you had been like that since day one, and that mentality has just rubbed off on everybody, I think, Zemi.
Absolutely. Since day one, Shermer came in. His attitude was, just an awesome thing to see. It's just a guy who, like I said, he come to the locker room, always smiling, always positive, just loving the game and looking to get better at it, at a game. So definitely the impact he brought in was great to have around. With having Haas and having Vero, I think at the time, or not Vero, Haas actually. It was Haas and
Greener.
Yep, Greener, yep.
And, going this year, coming back for this year, none of that changed. With that, Shermer put up a lot of work through the summer and, came back better than ever and, than before. And again, it's the attitude, the positivity, and just being a good pro. That's what makes him who he is.
And you had a couple of terrific games, including a shutout there in that, I believe, the second start. Did you have a shutout? I think you had a shutout, didn't you? No,
I wish. It was close.
Yeah, it was close. I think there was
one goal in each game.
Yes, there was one goal against each game. That's right. But the two appearances that you had at the end of the year last year, I think, gave you a lot of confidence and gave Zemi a lot of confidence to see you to just slide in there, young guy, go out there and make a statement like that. Over the summer, you kind of see how things are progressing. What was it like for you kind of coming into the season knowing that you were pretty much going to be 1A or 1B?
Well, I'd say the biggest thing is having the chance last year to see what it's like and know what to expect, because as in this league, there's so many good goalies, and if Zemi had no idea who I was coming into this season, there's not probably a shot in the world, no matter how good I was. Like, it would have been a very difficult battle uphill, because so far there's been 5-6 goalies in here trying to fight away for a spot. And because last year I got to show myself and who I was as a person, it definitely gave me an advantage. And I 100% didn't think I was going to be the 1A or 1B. I know it was my goal. And, in the season, Zemi's one words to me in the summer was, become a pro, like in all aspects of your game, in fitness and health, and do things the right way. And it's what I focused on all summer. And it definitely helped me to be ready, because, I could be in the best shape of my life and feel the best I ever felt. And if Zemi didn't think I was the right goalie, like, I wouldn't be starting. So it was out of my control. So I just did everything I could to be ready, and it definitely helped. In game 1 and 2 of the season, found a way to win as well. So it's the momentum was rolling from last season too. From that,
they had huge wins, and you stepped away from our camp for a little bit. So tell us a little bit about what it was like and what you were able to learn going up to Cincinnati.
It was very cool opening the door of the locker room and seeing an NHL logo, the Toronto Maple Leafs there. And it's being with a team that's affiliated with an NHL team is, a dream everybody has. And, seeing how everybody was so dialed in there, and all the little details from the staff to the players, the practice plans, how everybody was moving on the ice. There was just so much urgency, the pace of play. And then having a goalie coach there to work with every day, he taught me so much. And I was probably annoying him with how much I was talking to him, trying to get feedback. And leaving that camp, I saw what it took, and had a little taste. Kind of like last year, having the taste of what it was like here. So now I know what I need to do. And the coaches there gave me a lot of insight on how I can improve my game. Working on the details. They say just be a pro. And same as Zemi says, and just take it very seriously, and don't take days off. The consistency is the biggest thing, and working on the details. It was an awesome experience.
Yeah, Zemi, it's got to give you a ton of confidence as a coach to see the strides that Anthony's been able to make over the summer coming into the season, and then to put up the performances he's been able to so far this year.
Last year when actually first time heard about Shrum through Justin McDonald, who played in Columbus, and he gave me a call and said he's got this guy who's got a great attitude and just looking for opportunity. At the time we had the opportunity to bring a third goalie in, and we decided to bring Anthony in, and we didn't know what the plan is. We didn't know if he's gonna get any games or not, but a couple of the opportunities came in, and it wasn't necessarily only just the way he played, but also the way the team played in front of him. Just all around. Like, obviously he's done a phenomenal job in those games against Hudson Valley, and then the game against Danville. All started with the 2 periods in Athens. He's played, and then he showed what he can do. And yet again, to me as a coach, just seeing the way that the team responds in front of the new goaltender too is very important. And like you said, the conversation we had is, going from a college, and from our juniors, we don't necessarily understand what it means to be, when we say pro, how to take care of your body. Understanding it's not just 9-to-5 job, it's 24/7, and all the consequences on and off the ice matters. And Shrum put up a plan. He stick to a plan. I know he had some ideas of playing possibly in the overseas. We talk about it back and forth. I told him that if he's gonna come back, he's got a definite opportunity to be a number, to be the 1A, 1B, and he liked that. He liked the the fans and the community here, the organization, and we're very thankful to have him back. And when he came back, next thing you know, there's ECHL team calling for him, and he gets that opportunity, and that like you said, it's gonna be awesome. I mean, that's like Shammer said. That's why the players, and that's why we do what we do, to be able to develop and move up and just experience. No matter it's a day, no matter it's a season, or how long it takes to go to that next level, and it kind of shows you what you need to work on and improve, and gives you that extra little push. And coming back and stealing the game for us and making those next level plays and being absolutely loved by the crowd. It's awesome to have him here.
Yeah, there's been multiple occasions so far this season where we can legitimately say that he's stolen a game for this team. It's been incredible to watch.
Absolutely, there's no doubt about it. We talk about it today. We had a meeting together, just like with everybody else, and we're talking about those. Sometimes the saves he doesn't have to make, he makes, and that's what makes him incredible. Again, it's something where the goalie is the most important part of the team. That's where it all starts, and we're very fortunate to have two great goaltenders, and not just goaltenders but competitors. They compete against each other, but at the same time they support each other, and we're really lucky to be in this goaling situation we are.
Yeah, Shrum, I wanted to touch on that aspect of it as well. The compete level that you guys have as a position group. We saw it a lot last year. I'm sure you were able to learn a ton from Greg and all the experience that he brought. But you and Vero, you sit right next to each other on the bus. You're almost adjoined at the hip. But in practice, we see it every day. You guys drive the other one to be the better goalie that day. So talk us through, what your mindset is like and how you're able to feed off each other.
Well, both of our mindsets are, it doesn't matter what happens the day before. It doesn't matter who plays. If both of us aren't getting better every day, there's no point, because then at the end of the season we're going to be worse than where we were. So, we talk about things in goal. We talk about certain plays, certain reads. We're almost trying to, in a sense, coach each other in a way to figure out certain plays, and having a good, solid goalie partner who can easily play every game if he so chooses to go on a run. It makes you want to get better, and it makes you better as a goalie, and it's a healthy environment too. I've been on teams where I've nothing the other goalie did, but I've had a very negative mindset against the other goalie, and the coach plays him all the time, which makes me hate the goalie. But even if that was the case here, we're both making each other better. Like, I love Vero, and he's a great dude, and if he wasn't good, or there was a goalie here that wasn't that good and was just kind of here to be here, there's a chance I could get complacent. I'm not saying I would, but anybody can get complacent when their job feels secure. And, that drive also makes us equally better, and I feel like it's going to lead to great success at the end of the year, because we're going to be at the top of our game. I don't see why we wouldn't be.
Yeah, absolutely, Zemi, and that's got to give you, of course, a ton of confidence when you hear that, to know that there's no drop off but between the two of them, depending on which one goes which night.
Yeah, we're fully confident to, no matter it's Vero, no matter it's Shammer, we know that we're getting solid goaltending, right? It's really, most of the time we talk about the way the team plays in front of them. We know what they're capable of doing. We know they're consistent at doing that too, right? So again, it's something we touched upon today. Is like their job is such a hard job, because they can have the best game and the team doesn't show up in front of them and doesn't look good on them, right? Or vice versa, team doesn't show up and team shows up and they don't have a good game, and so it's mentally, the goaltending is the hardest position, and it takes somebody special and, like I said, mentally strong, and just being consistent and being a pro to be doing what those guys are doing. And I'll say it again, we're more than lucky to have those guys here.
So before we get into what's to come this weekend, or tomorrow, I should say, and this weekend, we have to do our rapid fiver here, our team-related questions. Again, Zemi, you are free to chime in at any point during this.
I'll listen.
So, our first question, what's the one we normally do with first? Oh, yeah. Who's the biggest eater between? Let's go goalie related.
Goalie related?
Between you or Vero, who's the biggest eater?
My first instinct was Robin when it came to eating.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Robin could eat everything.
We'll open it up to the whole team. So that's usually the answer is Robin. So then the follow-up to that question is, between Robin and anyone else on the roster, you put a plate of chicken wings in front of Robin and anyone else on the roster. Who is downing that first?
I don't know of anyone that could compete with Robin. I don't even think it's the quickness. It's just the amount. The amount. That and soda, he loves it. Empty stomach.
Clino loves Dr. Pepper. What's Robin's?
He's more of a zero sugar kind of soda person. Any sodas I see him drink. Yeah, nothing specific.
Well, yeah, you have to respect that. Funniest guy on the team.
Oh man, Vero's pretty funny. He has his out of pocket moments, and it's fun sitting by him. Danny's pretty funny, or Damon as well. Phil has his moments. His is very dry.
Yes.
You don't realize that he's joking until afterwards. You're like, man, that was a good joke.
Also, I know you've been trying to learn Czech recently.
I have. I think, a 65-day streak on Duolingo. It's doing really nothing, but it's, I could say, Nerozumím Česky. Yeah.
Anyone got subtitles? No? Okay.
I don't understand Czech. That's what I say to the guys.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what that means?
Yeah, I don't understand Czech.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't know what that meant until just now. So we'll write that down and note that for later. Okay. The biggest video gamer on the team that you've witnessed?
Oh, video gamer. Man, I don't know. I don't know many guys that no guys that game in their rooms. I mean, most of the guys are hanging out, just chatting. I'd say maybe Reller games a bit, and Damon. But I don't know of anyone who's very big into it.
If you had to cast roster members in a movie, who plays who?
For what movie?
For a movie about us. What actors play what players on this roster?
Man.
What actors best suit the players on this team?
I'm at a loss there. I have I couldn't give you an answer. That's way too tough. That's way too tough. I'd love to hear you guys'. Who do you think?
Rob Schneider would be good, I think, for Danny. Just Rob Schneider's hair's got to grow out a little bit. Patrick Warburton for Vero, since they essentially have the same voice. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking Nicolas Cage for Damon. I see Damon as National Treasure 3.
I mean, that's a good one. I wouldn't have guessed that.
I'm out of other ideas, but folks are chiming in left and right. Jim Carrey would be me, of course, because he's nuts.
Of course, yes.
So
only the nuts part.
Yes, he's nuts and does like 27 different voices, and then there's me who's nuts and does 27 different voices. So that would make sense. I don't know who would play Zemi. Jenna, who would play Zemi? That's a cop-out, but a good cop-out. All right, final question. If you were stuck with anyone on this roster in a zombie apocalypse, who are you trusting to get through to the next episode of The Walking Dead?
Probably either Danny or Bacon.
Well, Bacon's an answer we haven't heard yet. Mm-hmm. That's a good answer.
Yeah, they have some firearms that would make me feel very safe.
They have an arsenal.
Yeah, they collect.
Yes,
they collect.
That's their hobby.
I'd feel safe with them.
Yes, I think all of us would at that point. Who knows? We didn't know we might have needed it this weekend, but we might have needed it this weekend. We're stuck at a rest stop for 10 hours. But anyways, that's beside the point. Also, I do want to give a shout out to Clay Bush for coming up and lending us a hand over the weekend. Hi, Clay. No, he did not tow it. He tried. He tried pushing it back onto the interstate physically. He wished he could tow it.
Roll downhill the rest of the way.
Yeah, it rolled downhill the rest of the way. It drove great home. So all Clay had to do was just touch it, and it magically worked. Anyways, let's get to a big 3-game set coming up here with Twin City. As you said, Zemi, it's a team that looks a lot different than the last time you guys saw them. It's been a while since we've seen our old frenemies, you could say. And as you know, they've climbed up in the standings. They're about even, in the point column with you guys. So this is it's going to be a pretty even matchup over these next 3 games, and they're important games as well.
Yeah, it's a good rivalry against Carolina. A lot of familiar faces. They didn't change much on the team. They're good team, experience, ton of skill on the team. They just brought in a couple of guys who played there last season, Josh Koplinger and Joe Kennedy. Those are great hockey players. I haven't played for a little bit, but that doesn't change the way they think the game. So good team. We're excited for that. We enjoy to play those games. It gets physical, it gets fast. And again, it's going to come down to the little things. Playing in their barn. It's a last game of the 2025. So, not a better time than this game to finish on the right foot.
Yeah, you guys, I'm sure want to end the calendar year on a high note, Trummer. And for you guys, we've talked about this a lot on the show about going into that building. But one, it doesn't necessarily feel like a road game, not just because the trip is so short, but because a lot of the people here in the building end up making the trip down as well. And that's huge for you guys to walk out of that room, look immediately up to the right, and see a lot of friendly faces.
Yeah, it feels like a home away from home, and it's a lot of Bobcat blue in the stands, and a lot of cheering. Feels good coming on and off the ice with support from everybody, and it's such a cool arena too. A lot of history there. I'm a sucker for cool arenas, and so that was one of the first away arenas I saw in the league, and it's got to play my first game there this year, and it's a fun time, and I'm ready to beat them 3 times.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to that opportunity, and as you said, it was one of the first barns that you were able to play in, and it's a hostile environment, but you hear goalie chants in a lot of different buildings all over the place, but you and Vero have both said this. You almost relish it when they start bringing out the goalie mock chants, don't you?
I love it. I love it when people are banging on the glass and yelling, and it's just, it says that I'm making that much of a fuss that they got to try to get in my head, and it's I just laugh at them. If I accidentally look at them, I never try to look at them because it just fuels the fire. But if I do, I'm just normally laughing at them, and it's fun to hear.
Yeah, you could look at the Woo Woo Gang in our barn the whole time, but I mean they'll probably be in the same exact spot in Winston that they are here. So you can look at them. Nobody else, but. Zemi, for you as a coach, when you know that both your goaltenders going into any hostile environment have that kind of mental fortitude, that's got to be a huge bonus for you.
Absolutely. I feel like, we play so many times in Carolina, and Shrum and Wytheville played there many times where, like you said, it's a home away from home, right? So they know what to expect. We know what to expect. It makes it sometimes a little bit easier to get ready for those games, but again, their job is already, so hard mentally. Where something like this is, they usually have a good sportsmanship about it, and it doesn't get them off the game.
And that's the whole goal when fans try and do that. But I don't think fans really know that. If you talk to a goaltender, it really has the opposite effect, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's few goalies that it gets in their head, and it's especially when things aren't going their way. Some guys can crumble, but for the most part, it's something I love personally, and I love the booze, and I love coming off with a lights out and everybody going crazy for the other team, knowing we're about to take them down, and it's a good feeling.
Getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Late puck drop tomorrow night. This is a 5-game in 7-day stretch for you guys, so a little bit different as far as the physical preparation goes, Shrummer, but nothing really changes as far as the mental preparation, right?
Yeah, I'd say mental preparation is always the same for guys before games. When there's a little more games like the 5 and 7, guys are taking care of their body maybe a little bit more. I try not to change anything. I try to do the same thing every day, same consistency, whether it's games or not, whether I'm playing or not, just to try to keep that momentum, because the minute I stop doing something, it's, the consistency is going to go off, may feel off. So, no matter what, I try to just always stay the same.
Yeah, Zemi, and, as you've talked about a lot, staying, being professional away from the rink, it's really important in stretches like this where you have a lot of games coming up and they're against teams like Indiana, like Twin City, that do like to be physical.
Yeah, there's injuries, the bodies are banged up. You have to take care of the body, and in the stretches like this here and there will be a guy or two miss a practice just because they need that one extra day off to be ready for the game, and it's less about physical preparation, more about the mental preparation, the structure, and just that pre-scout, especially with us getting back a little bit later than expected. That limited us, and we didn't have Monday practices we usually would have, and we're at the point of the season where myself as a coach gotta understand their body is there too, and they can't just be going, because then the body's gonna wear out eventually, and so that's definitely something we keep eye on, and making sure that the guys are fresh and ready to go.
Yeah, as we said, Trevor, it's a quick turnaround, but given the energy that we saw on Saturday and then the energy in practice today, I think it's going to be a good showing, not just tomorrow night, but throughout the whole weekend, right?
Yeah, it was very high energy, especially with the travel day that we had on Sunday. I thought it may be slower, and since yesterday was optional, and but guys were flying around. I mean, everybody seemed in full game mode, ready to go, like there hasn't been a break and hasn't been time off, and so excited to watch and see what happens.
Yeah, it's you see a practice like you did today, Zemi, it's got to give you a lot of confidence going into a quick turnaround game tomorrow night against your rival, to know that everybody's focused, everybody's engaged, and even on the short rest, everybody's ready to go.
Yeah, today's today, tomorrow's tomorrow, but the preparation started when we finished the last game, right? That's no matter you're on ice, no matter you have a day off or not, like we said, it's 24/7, and the guys are in the right mindset. They felt again what it feels like to win and having fun playing hockey, and they seems to work just a little bit harder and being more engaged, and the pace, the intensity was there, what's expected. So yeah, definitely excited. It will be competitive.
Yeah, it'll be a big crowd, of course, New Year's Eve, and your old friend Andre Nietzsche will be in the building tomorrow night. Someone that you and Jimmy both know well from his time in Carolina, and a close friend and countryman of yours. It'll be good to be able to catch up with him, I'm sure.
Yeah, he was actually my first coach in professional hockey. He brought me from my juniors, so there's a lot I got. I'm thankful to Andre for, and it will be one of the first times since last time I've played for him. I'm gonna see him. So, since then he was able to win 2 Stanley Cups. So it definitely, excited to catch up with him. At the same time, we're looking to, bring in the locker room, talk to the guys a little bit as well. I think those are the things what you don't have the opportunity to do that on a daily basis. I think it would be a cool experience for the guys, myself included. So, excited.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get a chance to at least say hello to him, because the last time I talked to him, I didn't have any facial hair, because it was in 2019 in Carolina, and I was a fledgling little 20-year-old intern and was filling in on play-by-play for Drew Blevins and went into his office and did the interview, and that was the last time that he probably saw me face-to-face. So we'll see if that throws him for a loop at all. But it's a pretty good full-circle moment for everybody. You know, he did a lot for the team down there. He brought him a championship, and it's someone that, of course, as we said, you're still close to, and you and Jimmy still talk to a lot of, as far as scouting is concerned. And he is a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. So, Shrum, will turn to you when you know you've got the opportunity to have a gentleman like that with not only won a championship at this level, but now as a scout, he's won 2 Stanley Cups, to bring in that level of knowledge and expertise into the room right before a game has got to be huge.
It's something that I couldn't even put into words. I've never had an experience to know anyone with that type of background and pedigree. So I honestly don't even have words for it on how it feels. I'll let you know next week.
Just let's give us just the Cliff Notes version after the game.
I'm sure it'll be incredible. I mean, that experience alone is something that obviously is very hard to not many people have. So I'm excited to hear.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's going to be a huge crowd tomorrow night as well. I'm sure there's a lot of folks in Winston-Salem. They're going to be excited to see him again. It's staggered starts for all 3 of these games. So tomorrow, 8:35 to get as close to midnight as they can there in Winston-Salem. They have a ceremony where they have a puck from the ceiling. They do like a ball drop, except it's the puck. They lower it down. They have a public skate. They go to midnight. Puck hits the ice at midnight. Cool thing. So then Saturday we'll have the normal 7:35 start down there, and then Saturday we'll have their normal 6:05 Eastern time start. So you get earlier as the weekend goes on, but the latest start time of the season so far. But as we said, nothing really changes preparation-wise, guys, right?
No.
Yeah, you just eat a little later, nap a little later.
And you get dinner on the way home a little bit later.
Yeah.
Really good dinner, by the way, down there in Winston-Salem is provided to us. But that's beside the point. As we end every show, we'll get yours first. 3 keys to victory this weekend.
I would say fast, physical, positive energy.
I
can't disagree. Demi?
I definitely agree with it. I'd add and backtrack a little bit to what we spoke about last 2 years a lot of cohesiveness.
Yep, that's going to be a fun 3 games coming up. Haven't seen these guys in a while, so it's going to be fun to get this rivalry back going. Remember, they'll be in town in a couple of weeks. We've got Youth Hockey Night coming up Friday, January 16th. Tickets are buy one, get one half off, and we'll have the Blue Ridge Pounce and the Blue Ridge Roar playing at the first intermission in the Samick America Youth Hockey Night, the youth hockey game, so that'll be a lot of fun. The BRYHA, which Clay is actually 2 coaches are sitting right there next to each other. Clay Bush and Steele Scott. There you go. Hey, where do I get one of those? I have the t-shirt. Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. I have a t-shirt. I don't have a hoodie. That's where I was curious. But, hey, Shrummer, before we go, on the subject of youth, you've been working a lot with some future goalies. So how's that been going?
I love it. I got the opportunity when I first started playing junior hockey. My coach was also a goalie coach, and he needed a shooter. And I love just shooting pucks, messing around. And I slowly got into goalie coaching and been doing it for a long feels like a long time. I mean, 9 years is kind of a long time. But it's so much fun being able to teach guys what I know, and I know growing up it was difficult having a goalie coach myself. So the ability to go out and teach anybody anything, is even the basics, is awesome. And I'm excited to push that full time off as long as I can and still be able to play. But one day I hope to do it full time, and it's awesome.
Yeah, of course, we want to see it in between the pipes as often as we can, but that's super cool to see. Just building and growing that niche positions. I mean, in the community, when you've got somebody like that's willing to go out there and teach the next generation of goaltenders.
Yeah, Shermer is out there, and more guys are involved. the kids are the future, and we gotta help to grow the youth hockey here. That's what we wanna do, and it brings us brings a joy, and then seeing the kids supporting us, we gotta do the same thing, right? Like we were those kids and wanted to interfere with those professional hockey players and have a chance just to meet them, or being able to get on the ice and being coached by them is something you dream about as a kid. So I feel great to see that our players are involved the way they are, and we'll continue to do that.
Yeah, it's not just Shrummer either. A lot of guys are involved with the youth program, so it's great to see the attention to detail on that as well. As we said, Carolina will be here again in 2 weeks. We've got that coming up on Friday, and then Saturday's the St. Jude Showdown. That's going to be a massive game. We've got both teams wearing specialty jerseys. The Bobcats jerseys will be auctioned off after the game in Section 103 like normal. We've got an auction winner of your jersey over here sitting to the left. There you go. Good stuff. He's even got a glove and a stick. Look at that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Love it.
But yeah, we'll have that. We'll have the specialty St. Jude merchandise as well. QR codes throughout the building to donate to the life-saving efforts of St. Jude. We'll have, of course, more on that on our social media channels as the weeks go on. But we'll wrap it here. You guys got a game to play tomorrow night, and we got a bus to catch at 5 o'clock tomorrow to get to Winston-Salem on time. So our coverage begins on the Blue Ridge Hockey Network at 8:20 Eastern Standard Time. Until then, for goaltender Anthony Shrum and head coach Wojtek Zemlika, I'm Brett Wiseman. Happy New Year's Eve.